I just want to let you guys know, Tim is a close friend of mine, and he that's why he does this. He wants to make sure all the seniors here. It doesn't make a difference on what political side, but he's an honest person. That's why he's called the Supervisor of Elections. And I do know also it is an election year, so I am, really, really supportive of him, and because of how honest he is, and he gives everybody, no matter what size you are, fair and balanced, and that's very important in his position.
It is. How many of you, I'm sure, have heard of all of the controversies and suspicions with voting equipment and voting machines? Yes, everybody probably has heard that. Well, there's something that we do that's kind of unique here in Brevard County that not every county does. We are by law required to use voting machines. There's 2 certified voting machine vendors. You've all heard Dominion. We don't use Dominion in Brevard County. That's the big, name company. We use another company called Election Systems and Software, ES&S. They're headquartered in Omaha, Nebraska. You can't get any more American-made than Omaha, Nebraska. But in order to ensure the accuracy of the vote, one thing that we do is we do what's called an automated independent audit. So every ballot that a voter feeds into a voting machine at an early voting site or at a polling place, and every mail ballot that you send in that goes through our tabulation system goes through a completely separate independent system with completely different scanners that you can buy at an Office Depot or Staples. And we audit 100% of every single race, precinct, and ballot in every election. After 2020, everybody was calling for forensic audits. We do that here in Brevard County. We audit 100%. I'll tell you how accurate the system really is. In 2022, this last general election that we had 540,000 ballot pages to count in that election. That's how many ballots we got back. It was a 2-page ballot, is one of the longest we had. And you have to count every oval that's filled in on every ballot. We had 7.9 million ovals on 540,000 ballot pages. And when we ran all the ballots through 2 systems and compared them, that 7.9 million, we were 99.992% accurate between the 2 systems.
Wow.
That's absolutely amazing, and that's how every election should be.
So that means this county really has it together.
We are the leaders for election integrity in the state. I can absolutely tell you that right now.
So I know this will be also showing to a lot of family members and other people. So what are the deadlines, and what should somebody do, even as a resident, if they can't make it here? Is there anything as far as who they should contact? What's the information? So that way we can get whoever needs help.
Certainly. So the most important one is for this upcoming March election, which I said is only open to Republicans for March. The deadline to register or to update your party is February 20th, which is next week. That's why Eric was kind enough to get us in here so quickly to make sure that we have every opportunity to update information.
And I want to get your message out to everybody as well.
Yes, 100%. And then, go ahead.
Your order's ready in the cafe.
What do you mean update your party?
So if, let's say, Florida is a closed primary state. So you have to be a registered voter of whatever party you want to vote in that primary election. So if you're registered NPA or Dem or Independent or Green Party or anything like that, you won't be allowed to vote in the March election because it's only open to Republicans. Some states have open primaries where you walk up and say, no matter what party you are, you say, I want a Republican ballot or I want a Dem ballot. Florida does not work that way. We're a closed primary. You have to be registered 29 days before the election in that party. Now, in a November general election, anybody can vote for any candidate no matter what their party. It's a general, but primaries are closed in Florida. So in August, when we have our normal primary election, where you have races for senator, Congress, House, school, county commission, supervisor of elections, me. All of those are partisan races that you will have. If you're a Republican, then you'll see
election.
Exactly. Then you'll see those candidates. If you are, and let's say you're an NPA, no party affiliation, in August, the only races that you'll see on your ballot are school board and judges, because they're all nonpartisan races. They appear on everyone's ballot. So that's important to know, because there's a lot of transplants that come from other states in the country that have different election laws. Yes, ma'am.
So what's nice is, now that he's here, you completely forgot about Chateau, and I had to remind you, so now you're here, which is great. So
Yep.
from here on out through the November elections, I'm sure we'll have you come back.
We will be.
And we will definitely answer any questions, and to make sure that everybody here does get a chance to exercise their right to vote. It's not that hard, and also the fact that you'll be here and you'll also be able to tell us some things that might happen even in the back end that we don't see, because there's a reason why Brevard County is like the top few counties here in the state. And honestly, it comes down to the staff and supervising and doing all those other things, because you hear stories from all other counties and all other places around this country, and really you never hear about Brevard County, and we're big.
Here's how I measure success. If I'm not in the news, then I've done something good. Okay? Because with the newspapers, they have a rule: if it bleeds, it leads. And you only get negative press in the newspapers, unfortunately, these days. And we do a good job. So if I'm not in the paper, something good has happened.
Well, you're always welcome.
Thank
here.
you, Eric. I appreciate it.
Sure.